Yep, here we are back again. Just to show you what we're going to start off with. Here's my palette. For the basic colours, we're going to start off with the light blue violet for the sky. Then the background trees will be our light permanent green. And then as we move forward to the foreground, it'll be yellow mixed with the light permanent green. And every step of the way, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. At this stage in the class, we'd normally start for a cup of tea or coffee or whatever you fancy and a few biscuits. But you could do that yourself now. Just take a pause, put it on pause, and maybe make yourself a cup of tea. Now, hopefully I didn't hit the camera that time. Sorry, I just have to get up and check. Sometimes I do when I sit down. No, it's okay. Seems to be in the right position. The masking tape is working well, because I actually have a love with masking tape. Oh, holding it onto the tripod. By the way, I want to show you this. Look, really important for me. My dryer, because I dry each layer. That's the way I work, you know. It's a celebration of color. I try and build up pure color. In order to get that purity, in some cases we need the under layers to be dry. You know, if we don't want to get that pure, really strong, vibrant color, we can blend them. But okay, sure. Let's start anyway. We have the colors here, as I said. We've shown them to you already. You have your blue violet, light blue violet. Okay, there it is. There. Hopefully you can see it. Light blue violet. Liquitex is my brand, as everyone in my classes know. I just love Liquitex. And then we have, they're all lined up here on this side, and they've all moved around on me. And then we have, just to show you again, your light green permanent, okay? Light green permanent. That's it there. And we also have it up here, because we're going to mix it with the cadmium yellow. Cadmium yellow, there it is there. Liquitex again. Because all of my celebration of colour paintings I use, it's mostly Liquitex. But I do, you know, I dabble with Winsor and Newton as well, and Golden, because they're good quality as well. But when I can't get Liquitex, that's what I go for. Now, to start off, we're just going to add a little bit of water. Look, a little bit of water to blue violet, just to get a nice consistency. I'm working with a fairly large, flat, square brush, okay? And that's what I want. That sort of consistency there. It doesn't have to be too watery. I don't want a watercolor. I want a bit of texture, okay? I also say, you know, give it a bit of oomph and that, you know. And sometimes, you know, I try to sort of get that texture that you'd see in a yogurt, maybe a fairly thick, creamy yogurt. Now I've built up my brush there with a lot of paint. So we're just going to sort of look at this and say, okay, we'll divide it into 3/3 like that. I know that's not very even, but it doesn't matter. It's just to give you an idea of where we're going to go with the sky. And we start painting. By the way, just to explain as well, I've already put my masking tape on the edge of the canvas. Everyone from my classes knows that we, for the deep edge and the for this type of canvas as well, which is the shallow canvas, I always use the masking tape just to have a nice clean white finish. If you don't go for a frame, when you tear off the masking tape, you have the pure canvas, pure white. Okay, so we just start applying it like this, going right out to the tape, so as we get a crisp line where the tape meets that little bevel on the canvas. And this canvas is 11 inches by 14 inches, and as you can see, I'm doing a landscape shape. This is landscape, that's portrait, but we're doing a landscape with a tree, so this is the reason why I have it in the landscape format. As you go along, add a little more water if you need it. Come down to your line there. You can see I'm using the brush strokes in every direction. We don't do it, you know, vertically across or horizontally. We do it in all types of directions to get a nice flowing fluidity, you know, to the brushwork, and maybe a little bit of texture here and there. And these are going to be your base colors. You don't need a straight line going across here, because they're going to be tree tops there. The fine tree tops of the trees in the middle ground will be there, as I'll show you with the green. At the moment now, we don't really have to dry anything, and remember, the tree will take up, the blossoms will take up a lot of this, but we always have to start with the background, because I can't paint around trees and subjects in the foreground. I just find it really difficult. I prefer to have all the background in first before I attempt the detail in the middle ground or the foreground. Now I think that that's enough there. You can see I'm going out to the edge, just tipping off that tape. Do you see it? To make sure that we get a crisp line when we tear the tape off eventually. I hope I'm getting this on my camera. As I said, this is all an experiment. I hope you're enjoying your tea and coffee now, or whatever you're having while I'm doing this. Or if you didn't have it, put me on pause now and just put the kettle on. Now, there you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is clean that bush off immediately. Don't have to bother drying this. I'm going to get some tissue here, because we go straight into the trees with that lovely light permanent green. Same idea. A little bit of water, get that same sort of yogurty-like consistency. We don't want a watercolor consistency. We don't want any transparent. This is an opaque color anyway, so it's quite textured anyway. It's a lovely green, light permanent green. Sorry if you can see it there. Sometimes I forget now I only have a tiny lens on my phone and I'm not sure of the actual parameters of it. But anyway, you can see I've loaded up the brush and we're going to start putting in the trees across here. And basically it's just little strokes like this. The treetops, you know, treetops are not a straight line. They're a delicate tracery that goes across the sky. And you can see it especially at night time when they're silhouetted against a lovely full moon. And it's basically, the brushwork is what gets that for you. You can see the way I'm moving up and down. Doesn't matter if you go into the blue, violet, because that plays its part as well. It distances them even more. You can see the idea like that. Moving the brush. See the way I'm moving the brush around continuously all the time. I'm not doing vertical or horizontal strokes. It's all to do with movement. In fact, probably drum players are fantastic painters, I'd say, because it's a rhythm that you can change in order to get a different effect. And they're very good at various rhythms, as we know. Okay, and you can see I'm extending it now right down to this little line here that I marked. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, everyone can, hopefully. Otherwise I'll have to do this again. Going right down. You can see the way I'm jumping around now nicely. And just adding a little bit of water here and there. We don't need too much of it, because we want to keep that nice texture and opaqueness to it. Now the canvas itself, I didn't bother. Normally I would put a cobalt blue base on everything, but I said to myself, no, just let's start with this. Let's go with it. Okay, I'll show you other versions with cobalt blue. Well, maybe not this exact painting, but one of my other ones. Okay, and everyone seemed to love the series I'm doing on cherry blossom, so that's why I've chosen this one to start off with. Now you can see those marks as well. They give a lovely little movement. And that's what we're looking for, because we're only working in, you know, on a flat canvas here. But we want to give the impression there's depth to it, okay? But as we know, there isn't. It's really an illusion painting, you know? We pretend to people that you can actually see a little bit of depth. Okay, so we have that there. Okay, so there's your trees for the moment, as I said. Clean the brush again in the water, because it's acrylic that we're using. Very immediate. Very forgiving as well. Make lots of mistakes and correct them with acrylic, and that's why we use acrylic, because it's a wonderful medium to learn how to paint first of all. Before if you want to move to oils or whatever, sometimes I put oils on top of acrylic, but you can't do that unfortunately in reverse. It has to be always acrylics will not, a water base will not go over an oil colour, you know. Now, okay, just to get back now the foreground, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is sort of fairly straight. And hopefully my varifocals are not deceiving me, but I think that's a straight line because I'm painting at an angle here. And this will sort of be a grassy area, okay? There's a little blip there, so I'm going to take that off with my finger, put it down there on the easel. Just get that across there, like so. And let's see how this goes. Basically then you have the three elements of any landscape, which is your sky, your middle ground and your foreground. And please forgive me if I'm making mistakes about in my grammar or if I'm repeating myself, because this is the first video I'm trying. I really haven't got a clue about how it's going to work out, but I said I'd give it a go because everyone was asking me to do it. And I'm moving the canvas around my brush as well, that's allowed. And I'm just holding it in position with my finger there in the left top corner, just to get those little bits. Yeah, and we got that little line across there. It doesn't matter that it's mixed in with the green above it. That helps as well. It gives another little dimension to the whole painting. And with these strokes, we're doing them horizontally, okay? We've moved away from our lovely drummer-like strokes up there as if we're playing the drums. Okay, so we have that there. And what we're going to do then is we just finish it off there a little bit like that. I'm going to pick it up and look at it straight on myself because I'm looking at it from an angle. Just going to lift that up a little bit on this side because I wanted to get that line fairly horizontal there, because we don't want the trees falling out of the painting. You can see what I mean? It's a bit lower on this side. And this is just me and my OCD. No, I'm only joking. I know it's nice because the tree is going to be so erratic and with its lovely blossoms spreading out everywhere. We want it sort of to contrast with this definite, for the want of a better word, horizon line just below the trees. Yeah, and I think that should do it. Now we have our tree colours. That's THREE colours, and then we put this back in here. Some paint on the hands, that's allowed, you know, if you want to be a real artist. Then we look for our dryer, and then we dry this, and basically hands distance from the canvas, a couple of minutes. I'm going to dry it, switch off, dry now, and when I come back then we'll continue on. But that's how easy it is. I mean, you basically have a landscape there without your major cherry blossom in the foreground, and that's how you have your sky, trees and foreground. That's all it is. So let's go ahead and I'll see you in shortly, but what I have to do is switch it off because I won't record myself drying it. That'll be a bit boring. Hopefully I didn't knock I probably did knock it, did I? Okay, see you soon.